It is Never Run Alone. I'm Rien MacDonald, joined back in the studio after a fortnight hiatus in what is the very best month of the year, joined by a fabulously fast four of Boudakin, Merrick, and Kris Farrenkothen, and a very special guest, Nike Pacific head run coach and co-founder and CEO of Femmi, Lydia O'Donnell. Welcome to Never Run Alone.
Thank you for having me. It's an honour to be here.
You're welcome. Thank you for joining us. Thank you all for being back.
Good to be back.
It's nice to be in the flesh.
Yeah.
Nice to be in the flesh.
Better than a Google Meet?
Yeah.
Waiting for someone waiting for someone to stop talking and then awkwardly jumping back in.
Yeah. It's a bit easy to flow.
Where's your headgear this week?
Yeah, no, I need my little
Your flight control
telemarketer mic. So, yeah.
Nah, it is great to be back. We're going to be chatting all things Femmi. Obviously, Lydia, thank you for joining us. But we have Melbourne Marathon, 9 days out. Bit of a Oz Athletics update as well. Chicago, also on the 12th of October, Chicago Marathon. And then a few different updates from around the room. But yeah, as always, just want to give a big shout out at the top to Aid Station for sponsoring the pod. Aid Station Nutrition is the what, Ella? First, do you remember the line?
The pillar.
Discipline.
The first discipline.
The pillar.
That's right.
It's 2 weeks off. She's a bit rusty.
It is good.
I forgot everything.
They do stock Pillar, right? Pillar Performance. So
Yeah.
Your favourite.
There's
Vitamin C powder.
some great things. Use the code Never Run Alone to get 10% off there. So thank you to Jimmy, Metz, the team. We're going to jump into some warm-up questions for the crew. Thank you to everyone on the socials who submitted these in the past 24 hours on our Instagram story. We want to start with Tilly Donkin.
Hey.
Tilly Donks, who has asked for niche personal tips for enhancing recovery speed.
Oh. Interesting. I mean, I bought it last week, but the night wrap of
Yeah.
the anti-inflams, Voltaren and everything, and then the Glad wrap.
The Glad wrap or Ziploc bag if you run out of cling wrap.
Yeah.
Have you heard of this, Lydia? Have you heard of this hack?
No, I have
A
not.
Ziploc
my
bag.
coach,
Yeah.
it's like you put basically like Voltaren and then like
yeah.
arnica
Like
or something
arnica,
on,
yeah.
and then you like wrap it in Glad wrap and it like helps with absorption. You do it overnight.
And it saves your sheets getting all gross as well.
Yeah.
Because you can like go to bed.
You're saying a Ziploc bag. I'm failing to understand how that works.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Ziploc bag and some
I don't
tape.
condone this.
She just puts it down the end of the bed and it somehow
You're just
works.
putting your hand in there.
Yeah. No, it's perfect for your ankle. Because you
Okay.
just cut like the end off the Ziploc bag and then you've got a perfectly round
She's Glad wrap.
area.
Or like you put your foot through
through
the
it,
Ziploc bag.
and then it just stays
Right.
put.
Interesting.
And you could do it for your knee. I mean, depending on how big your legs are.
I feel like
but,
Ziploc bags are not... Yeah, anyway.
like a medium size. We're talking.
Yeah, that's
Garbage bag also works.
Yeah,
You got to get
You
real
get a
creative.
Ziploc.
Hey,
get real hot.
Tilly wanted niche.
Yeah.
Going niche.
Yeah, okay.
yeah.
I like it.
That's my one recently.
That's yours?
Yeah.
Good?
Oh, niche. I think something that's niche that not a lot of people can probably do is not have a job. I think that definitely helps. I think the best I've ever run was when I didn't work.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
that was my job.
Throw hours, eh?
You know,
Yeah.
it actually like makes such a difference.
Yeah.
Being
The
a
drain.
professional athlete in some ways, I reckon it's probably the easiest job in the world because you just get to eat and sleep. So
Recover.
yeah,
Sounds
The
so
drain.
yeah, we can't all do that though.
Yeah.
unfortunately.
It's like finish your on straight to 9 to 5. Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah, love it.
Sam Clifford coming in, just having a nap.
Yeah,
Over there. That was
That was possibly one of
Phenomenal.
the best pod moments I've ever been a part of.
yeah.
Yeah. Sam Clifford ran his debut marathon, Sydney, and he walks in and we were like still
is 2
sort of
days
getting set up.
before.
It was early, 2 days before the marathon.
So he's carb loaded up.
Yeah.
And immediately just goes to me and Cam, oh no, that's fine. Do you mind if I just have a nap somewhere? And like we've got a full office there. And I'm like, oh yeah, I could probably put you in the storeroom on a beanbag. And
Honestly,
he's like,
naps.
perfect.
Yeah.
10-minute
Yeah.
nap.
Yeah, it's like out like a light.
Yeah.
Then came back in. He was a bit groggy for the first 5-10 minutes of the pod, but he got back up to it.
I think
great.
being able to nail those short naps is like a complete hack.
Yeah.
I remember going to see my naturopath a few years ago and he told me he does 3 lots of 7-minute naps a day.
Wow.
And that like
Wow.
completely changed the game for him. So
Wow.
That's cool.
napping is
Are you a
like-
good napper?
I am, yeah. I do try to have like at least 1 nap a day.
Love that.
Dream.
What about?
I sneak a couple, of, maybe
Yeah.
on my lunch break, maybe
Yeah.
if I feel it
I
a
might
bit.
try that on playground duty.
Find a tree.
Some dark sunglasses.
I was going to say put the wide brim hat on and just pull it like that.
Yeah, love it.
Standing nap
With the
against
high
a tree.
vis vest.
Yeah,
Good look.
very good.
What about you, Chris? You're a father of 2. You get a nap
You've
in?
got to steal the nap. surely.
You steal the naps. Yes.
Rest in the eyes.
One in the bathtub.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just empty bathtub though,
Yeah.
of course. Safety first.
Yeah.
I've been known to be really good at playing lying down. So Frankie will be like doing my hair or something,
Sleeping
and I'm
lines.
lying on the floor like just getting some shut eye. And
We'll play hide and seek.
absolutely.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
Yeah, I'm hiding in my bed. You found me.
Oh, yeah.
Perfect.
Can you take another 5 minutes maybe to find me?
Love it. Nice. What about you, Renus?
It's great. I don't know. Niche recovery.
You're just
tips?
like ocean swimmers.
Hey?
Ocean swimmers.
Oh, the
That's
ocean
your
swim. I
go-to,
call it
yeah.
nature's massage.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just get in some big surf and just let that crack your back a bit.
Free chiropractor appointment.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just, you know,
Nature's Cairo.
kids do it, and I've done it in the past where as the wave's breaking, you just run straight at it. Definitely not a recovery tip, more of a breaking your body tip.
Feels like
Just-
something when you're like 13 and indestructible that you're just
Yeah,
like diving
made
your
of
way.
rubber.
Yeah.
Do that
Yeah.
if you're training for America.
Yeah,
No.
exactly.
in
Throw
your
a boogie
30s.
board in
Nice.
No thanks. No thanks. Sissy Bergman would love to know, what are your secret talents? Who's got a secret talent?
Oh.
I feel like Cam Merrick, you play about 3 different instruments, don't you? that
Oh,
no one really
used
knows
to.
about. Used to.
I don't know. I have to think. I can do a Rubik's Cube. That's a good talent.
Yeah. What,
Yeah.
In how long?
Like a minute.
That is.
That's pretty
impressive.
good.
Yeah.
That's pretty
I don't know.
impressive.
I was going to say, if it takes a few days,
Yeah.
I mean, it's still
Anyway,
impressive. I
few
don't
days
think
would
I've
be
ever done one, but
No. Yeah. I don't know. That's probably my secret talent.
yeah, nice.
Anything else? Run fast.
Run fast.
Not so secret.
Not so secret.
If I had any talents, I would tell everyone, so they wouldn't be secret.
I can do the alphabet. I can do the alphabet backwards. It's weird, but
Wow,
That's
is
cool.
Well, 3, 2,
Okay,
1,
that's a
go.
talent.
Yeah.
Z Y X W V U T S R Q P O N M L K J I H G F E D C B A.
Wow,
Bang,
how long
there you
did that
go.
take
That's
to learn?
impressive.
I just learned it in primary school. Had to do it front to back. Learn how to use the dictionary. So
Wow.
Wow.
incredible.
That's
Yeah.
crazy.
yeah,
You're
there you go.
amazing, man.
Thanks,
Absolutely pointless.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
Maybe good for like a sobriety test or something.
Yeah.
Like that.
Yeah, I used to whip it out when drunk all the time. To be fair, so anti-sobriety.
Yeah, love
quite
it.
Frankly,
I thought yours is like some rogue pain tolerance because I never know whether you're injured or not. And you
yeah.
keep
that's
running.
true.
That's not a secret.
And not a secret, but yeah. There you go.
I'm a half decent singer.
Okay.
Yeah. Not that you would have ever known.
Can you sing the
Yeah,
alphabet
tell me
backwards?
about
I cannot sing the alphabet backwards for you.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
Can we do a karaoke
we
booth
can
near you?
absolutely go to a karaoke.
That's on the
karaoke
Patreon.
booth. Yeah.
Maybe Boston away
Yeah, love
next
it.
year.
Love it.
Get you on.
I feel
some
like Lydia
karaoke.
has like 5 hidden
Honestly,
talents.
no. Like,
Oh, no.
My one talent is running.
Yeah.
It's not a
Good one,
talent,
Ab.
really. No, I can't really think. I danced a lot when I grew up, but like
Nice.
now, I really am not a dancer at all.
Okay.
I can make some good scrambled eggs.
Okay.
Talk us through your scrambled egg game. What are you doing?
Well, so if I had all the ingredients and the time to do it, I would crack the eggs into a bowl, add a bit of cream, like
Okay.
runny cream.
Love it.
Whip that pretty well. Get the fry pan really quite hot with oil
Love
or
it.
butter if you don't have it.
Yeah.
And then it's just a quick fry because it's so hot.
Yeah.
And you just you don't want dry eggs.
Mm.
You know, where it kind of goes like chalky.
Yeah.
You want to get the consistency really good. So more like a folded scrambled egg.
Yeah.
That's what I go for.
Sounds like something you can't teach. It's just
That's
this is
amazing.
your talent.
talent.
This is
That's
your
feel.
talent.
It's
It's
all
all on
I
feel.
know.
It's all instinct. Yeah,
Yeah.
love
There's
it.
not much more I can cook, but
Yeah.
a good scrambled egg.
Love it. Love
Ah,
it.
that's great.
Big.
Ella, anything?
Nah, I got nothing.
I think you'd have some. I think the ability to bounce back from injury is pretty.
You know what?
Non-secret.
My
but-
not secret hidden talent is I did play water polo semi-professionally.
Okay, that is
Wow.
a secret talent.
There you go.
There
Yeah,
you go.
known you for over a year. Never heard that.
Never heard
Yeah.
that. Could see you in the
Yeah.
cap.
Yeah. Number 13.
No wonder you're an absolute fish when it comes to swimming.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Unreal.
Yeah.
Love it.
Very nice. Underscore Gareth. He would like to know, what's the mantra or a few words that float through your head in the last 10K of a marathon? All run marathons semi recently. Kris,
You know what? I
any-
love the fact that most runners, I won't say all, but like most runners in a marathon usually have words written on their hand, like near their watch. And I just love looking at them because everyone's just so different. But like usually 2 or 3 just big words to just pull you through.
Did you write one on
No,
Sydney?
I didn't.
No?
I couldn't. No. I can't even remember to bring myself, let alone write something in my hand. But like I know Ash and Sissy do often write like strong, powerful.
Yeah. That's what I had.
Yeah.
My 3 in Gold Coast were strong, smooth, powerful.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like you still got more smooth, like trigger, like reminds me to like relax shoulders, like get form right. Like smooth, I find is like a very good trigger for like running to be like in rhythm and like in flow. And then powerful is like keep the like keep your steps, keep your power as you're running, and then ideally try and find more. That's the 3 words for me usually.
Nice.
I think for the start of the race, I will have calm and in control in my mind, and I'll just say that for the first like 20 or so Ks, because it is so easy to get carried away at the start of the race. But then by the end of it, other than like, you've got this and keep going, it's stay in the K. I think that helps me just
like
like be
that.
present in the moment I'm in and not get too like caught up in what's to come, and just like get through that K. And then if you keep doing that, obviously you can eventually get to the finish line. So
Yeah.
Love that.
yeah.
That's an interesting one. I feel like sometimes people, you know, I know Andy talks about it as well. Some people are like, zoom out and think in like 5K blocks. But I'm quite similar. I kind of like being in that K and thinking like, what's my pace this K? How am I tracking in this one? And just kind of chunk it away as I do that. You
It's such a short period of time, but it goes so quickly. But when you're in like at 35 Ks, it does feel a lot longer than it is. So
Yeah, exactly. Like
more
maybe it can feel
management.
at the start, the first half, you're like, oh man, these Ks are taking ages to go. But as you get later on, you're like, it's nice to just kind of the goal is only 500 meters away rather than 5 Ks away. So I like that a lot.
Yeah, I tried to do the 5K Andy trick in Goldie. Hated it. Like, love you, Andy, but hated it. And then for Sydney, did the 1K, and I was like, this is so much. It's just more manageable, I think, every K.
Yeah, the other one I was going to say quickly that I have spoken when pacing you and James, and also for myself, was and talking to other people is like just discipline is like the biggest thing, because it's similar to your point.
Pull back.
Just telling everyone to like to relax when I'm pacing them. But yeah, I just feel like it's so tempting just to rip it from the start or to go early, and it's like make an agreement with yourself to hold until a certain point and then go. Yeah.
Feel you, Chris?
I was going to say, it's only 10K. I remember like in New York running, you'd hit that wall moment, 32 Ks. And you're like, what's another 40 minutes?
Wait, did you guys go to New York? Sorry, can we just find that back?
It's only 10K. It's only 5K. What's another 20 minutes? You're fine.
I definitely do that at the end as well. So it's like 20 minutes.
Reminding yourself that the work's almost over.
Yeah.
And a lot of people are like, it's only one park run. Or
Exactly.
they compare it to park runs because that's what they know.
Yeah.
It's just so crazy, I reckon, in a race how like time can just change, like feels so different.
Yeah.
Like, the first 10Ks just feels so quick.
Yeah.
And then the last 10Ks feels like you're running 100Ks. You know?
Yeah, exactly.
It's just your perception of time changes a lot.
For sure.
I mean, I tell myself, and I think I've said it to you in Sydney, like we're exactly where we want to be.
Yeah.
Like if you're going to run as fast as you've ever run before, you're going to be hurting, most likely. Yes, you can prepare for it. But if you're there and you have that opportunity to push on to the finish line and get that PB, you are exactly where you want to be. Maybe not in that moment. You don't want to be feeling that pain, but you would have given a lot. You've done 13 weeks or more of training. So that's something. I've also got this bracelet that my lovely girlfriend Betty made for me.
Cute.
It says Hot Rapid Fire Flames. It was originally smooth. Smooth Rapid Fire Flames. But now
got
we
the
go
upgrade.
with hot.
Yeah.
So thanks to Betty for that.
Nice.
No, I think that's definitely one. I said that to you. And like you get to halfway, you get to 30K, and you're like, oh man, like I feel like crap. But you're bang on pace you need to be. It's like this is it. This is what you asked for to be right. Yeah. Exactly.
You deserve this.
You asked to be on. You want to be
Shock, it hurts.
Exactly. It's like I'm exactly on pace at 30K. It's like that's exactly what you wanted. Like you asked for this. So take it. So it's great. Love it.
Great question. Did you answer what yours were? I think you mentioned having them written on
I
your
didn't
hand.
have anything written on my
No?
hand.
What do you
Okay.
think?
Yeah.
I don't think.
Monkey dancing around.
Yeah, it's a little monkey in there. Having the time of life.
Smart.
All right, maybe one more question. We've got John Valudos, who we saw at the weekend. Shout out to Johnny. Wanted to give me a big hug, very sweaty. I sort of had a
We were
bit of an
just
awkward
starting.
one. Yeah, maybe I wanted the hug. I can't remember, but it was a bit awkward. Anyway, thanks for the question, John. Tips on getting decent workouts in and around Seni P when packed in the summer. Because it's already getting busy.
Good luck.
Outside
Start of
load.
October.
Yeah.
Don't do it.
Yeah, as we were about to do it on the weekend.
Yeah.
Yeah, you just got to try and run on the outside of the road, and that's about it. Just
Yeah.
But I guess it's like a start time's surely a big thing, right?
The hack is the outside loop. So you do you start at Homestead, you go around, and then you exit at the just
Valley Street.
before the cycling cafe, and you go out towards the light rail, and then you go around, and that's perfectly 5K. You get one set of traffic lights, and if you hit it, you're in flow state. But
Always in flow state.
you
If
go,
not, you hit by a
it's
tram.
like half Seni P and then half on the outside. But like you can, I think 5K is nice to know, like one lap, 5K, most of your session will fit around
None
that.
of this 3.7k math.
Or you run the,
Yeah. I can't
or you
do
run the
that.
Catsies bit as well.
Cats is good.
But yeah,
Boston Hills, got to get them in.
yeah.
That's it.
Did a
But
big section.
unless you get there early, you just got to contest that you're going to be either dodging cars or people. You got to pick which one you want to dodge. Really.
It's
Yeah.
already so bright, like 6:15 this morning. The
Well,
sun
it's
was
about to be
like
daylight savings
blinding.
next
Daylight
week.
saving.
True.
Next
Coming.
week.
Good
This
chat.
week.
We're in
No, it
that-
is
this
this
week.
weekend.
This
Yeah.
weekend.
weekend.
Yeah,
It was a public holiday. Yeah, so there you go.
Okay.
There's so many places you can run. you know.
Exactly. You
It's
don't
just
have to do
funny how
CP.
everyone goes to the same place. Like you could do
Yeah.
probably a K loop around a block or somewhere where no
Yeah.
one is. you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I go into Narrabeen Lagoon and do
I was
my
going
Oh,
to
work.
say,
yeah,
Narrabeen's
like,
yeah.
so
so
But
nice.
every time I go there, no one's there. You know, like it's so nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just run
It's
around.
stunning.
That
Do your workouts
that
then.
10 a.m. to 2 p.m. period where all the families are out
Yeah.
is hellish.
Yeah.
Yeah, you get there
if
early.
You go earlier.
Yeah.
Or even Curl. I've done a lot of marathon
Oh,
workouts
yeah.
around
Oh, yeah.
Curl.
The
There's
park
like a
run
loop around
is
there.
good there.
And it's just so nice being away from everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah.
As
Interesting.
far away from Seni
And
P
you
as
literally
humanly
can
possible.
pace so well, you know, because
Yeah.
no one's getting in your way.
Yeah.
Yeah, agreed.
Love it.
CDP's great every now and then, but I wouldn't
Yeah.
do it everywhere.
Yeah.
Love it.
Yeah, every day, same direction.
Yeah. Gets a bit head noisy.
The old
The
hamster
highway,
wheel.
the CDP highway.
Yeah.
The
Well,
highway.
Come up to Narrabeen, Johnny, and anyone else. Maybe not
Mm.
everyone else, actually.
Yeah.
No one
should
comes
have-
to Narrabeen.
Lane
Okay,
Cove-
keep
Lane
that
Cove
one.
National Park.
Yeah, that's a great show.
Lane Cove National Park is one,
Oh,
of the
yeah.
greats. If you've never done that, get there early before the cars get in. I think the cars go in at 9 o'clock is when they can enter. If you get there like before that, it's just like dead quiet
Rolling
roads,
hills.
rolling hills, beautiful morning in the national park.
Dodge
Yeah.
a cyclist.
Have you
or two,
done Lane
you'll be
Cove?
right.
No.
Oh, it's a great
You would
run.
froth it.
It's like
You'd really love it.
It's like
It's like
5K
national
up.
park vibe.
Yeah, it's like a one.
Crazy.
It's like a road, like 5K up to the top, 5K down, and it's like rolling hills, beautiful.
Stunning.
Yeah,
Yeah.
just like if you get it like in like, you know, winter or autumn, and it's a
freezing
bit
in the
crisp,
winter.
but it's like the sun's cutting through the trees. It's beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah, one of the best in Sydney.
A
I
couple of
reckon.
wallabies. We've seen
Exactly.
an echidna.
It's nice.
I'll go there for the echidna.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Nice.
A few dogs.
Exactly. Yeah, a couple going around.
First step of his little content series.
Yeah,
Shot,
yeah.
at Lane, shot at Lane Cove.
Yeah,
so
a couple of
was.
crews that train through there.
true. Saturday morning,
Yeah.
Saturday morning.
doing
Yeah,
hill repeats.
There's one that there's a huge hill that you can go off the side, and there's like
Yeah.
a group that do like group hill runs
Proper
there every
hill
Saturday.
workouts.
It's just like
I've seen tears and like coach walking with people. Yeah, it's like
humbling.
Jesus.
serious
Might have to do it
But
before
there's
Boston.
a whole bunch of yeah.
Might have to
There's
do it
heaps
before
of
Boston.
trails that like go through the park
Mm.
that I really want to get around
Yeah.
eventually. But
Love it.
yeah,
Let's do it.
maybe don't do a session on the trails.
Yeah.
that was actually where your ankle fell off once upon a time, and you just
Yes.
somehow
It
managed to
ac-
grit
yeah.
it out.
Never got better.
Docked up. Great. Well, that's some awesome questions. So thank you to all who submitted those via Instagram, as we said. I now want to, I guess, unpack a bit about you, Lydia, and Femmi. You're celebrating 5 years this October. So 2020, back in October, was when you started. Maybe if you could share with us like the inspiration for how it begun, and obviously doing lots now. But yeah, maybe take us back to that, and we can start there.
Yeah, 2020. So at that point, both Esther, my best friend, and myself had been coaching for about 8 years. I had my own coaching company leading into that, and then I'd also been the Nike Run Club coach for about 5 years at that point. And both of us kind of grew up in the running space. We've both been doing athletics since we were like pretty young. And we both really like suffered in a system that has been set up by men for men and really like ignored the needs of female athletes. And we didn't really realize it at the time, but both of us kind of were being fed a narrative that we had to look in a certain way, being a female athlete, weigh a certain weight. We were constantly being told if we were skinnier or in smaller bodies that we would be better athletes. And then alongside that, we were never spoken to about our female bodies, our physiology, our menstrual cycles. None of that was really like brought up from our coaches. And because of those two things, one being we needed to restrict our diet to fit into this mold, and then second being ignore your periods and ignore your menstrual cycles, we both went down like pretty severe pathways of like disordered eating, body image issues, lost a lot of confidence in ourselves. And for me, it happened when I was in my early 20s, but for Esther, it was when she was in her teenage years, and going through that as a teenage girl is like, can be detrimental to your health, like long term as well. So it's like pretty scary to think back of like the things that we were doing to ourselves and what we went through. But for me, by the age of about 25, I lost my period completely from what we now know as relative energy deficiency syndrome. But at the time, had never heard of REDS, didn't know anything about it. I just like kind of ignored the fact that I lost my period for a certain amount of time, and then I ended up in hospital, and that was really like the point that I had to stop and kind of reassess of everything that was going on for me. And it was about a 2 or 3 year journey of just like learning about my body for the first time ever in my late 20s, and like actually understanding my menstrual cycle and realizing like the importance of having a healthy period and having healthy hormones as a woman, and actually how you can use that to your advantage. It was like mind-blowing how much I didn't know about myself, and then what I discovered and how I used that to my advantage in my training. It completely changed the game. So I went on to like start adapting my own training to my cycle, and within about 18 months of doing that, I broke my 5k, 10k, half marathon and marathon PBs by like quite a lot.
Incredible.
And on top of that, I was like healthy, had a healthy menstrual cycle, and was like the most confident I'd ever been in my body because I stopped focusing on what I looked like. So then fast forward to 2020, I'd been training to that theory for probably about 2 or 3 years at that point. And Esther and I were both in the coaching industry, and we're like, we kind of have this responsibility now to take what we've gone through, take our challenges and take our learnings, and actually start to change the narrative of what it means to be fit and healthy as a woman runner, and how to get the most out of your body as well. So 2020, we started Femmi, and it was one-to-one coaching service, and it was very much like getting in deep, hands-on, actually programming programs for women runners around their cycles if they had one, and then if they didn't, it was more just like, how can we give you the most sustainable training possible as a woman? And by 2021, we'd built the actual physical run communities. So those are Femmi Fridays, where women meet and go for a run, have coffee, but it's very much just about creating a safe and supportive environment for women. And then by 2022, we actually started ideating the Femmi app, which is like now our platform of everything Femmi exists in the app. The community exists there, the training exists there, and it's really like a learning portal for women to go and figure out and learn more about their bodies as well. So
on the
it's
app
been a
side,
journey.
I've seen like it's all the training stuff is measured against like the parts of your cycle, right? Like so
Correct, yeah.
you are doing all the cycle tracking within the app and then adjusting.
Yeah, that was
training.
exactly it. Like when we started looking at building an app, we obviously went down the pathway of what exists out there today, and pretty much over 99% of sports tech has been built by men, and so they've completely ignored the fact that women exist and that women physiology exists, and these changes in our hormones are literally happening every single day. And then of course there's a lot of menstrual cycle tracking apps that exist, so there's plenty of them, but pretty much all of them have been built around how to either get pregnant or not get pregnant, and that's about it. There was no
Not helpful for elite running or any form of running.
not really what we need. Like, there has been no celebration of the female hormones outside of the fact that we are baby makers, you know, like that's how we've grown up to learn about our hormones. It's like these hormones exist and you get your period because you are going to have a baby one day. And it's like, well, actually, these hormones do so much more for our bodies than just, you know, make us reproduce. But we'd never been taught it, so we never were able to celebrate it. So we're also trying to like change that narrative of like periods suck and hormones suck and menstrual cycles are like taboo and all of this, and be like, no, actually, this is really powerful.
You can
for
use
women.
it.
Yeah, exactly.
That's very cool.
Amazing.
You mentioned the app now, and as well, a lot of tech has been built by men and not really catering to the female body. But as a man, not very well educated in this, but I am on Flow to help with my girlfriend, but she's not a massive runner. But just personally, initially, my mind goes to, are there many men getting around the app or using it, or is it not really catered to that? It's obviously catered to women learning more about that. But yeah, I'm curious.
I mean, it is catered towards women. Our community is for women, although like we also acknowledge that not all women menstruate and not all people who menstruate are women. So Femmi is very much a women's community, but we do have a lot of male allies. Our training approach in the app, I believe as a coach, is incredibly sustainable, and men would also benefit off our training approach because there are quite a few aggressive training apps that exist out there today that are injuring a lot of people. And I believe like the way we train as women is actually beneficial for everybody, although the training to the menstrual cycle is obviously hyper personalized to your individual experience in your cycle. But even women who don't have a menstrual cycle or don't have a period for various reasons still use Femmi, and we definitely cater for them because, again, it's just like really sustainable training where we're not pushing you to your brink. We're looking at like your long-term career, let's say, in the sport, and we want to make sure that you have a sustainable approach no matter if you have a period or not. So it is for women, but I do know we've had a few men, like we had a male physio use the app because his girlfriend was using the app, and he said he felt like a real queen using the app.
I love that.
Looking after everyone on the app.
Yeah.
Love that.
I feel like it's such a
So
niche
nice.
market, and it's such a market that hasn't been addressed, like you said, for a very long time. And there's been so many people, and like we've chatted about it, of like underfueling and, you know, losing your period or just, you know, doing it wrong or not being educated and not realizing like you're training so much and not fueling for that. So I think it's, like a huge step in the right direction. In terms of training to your cycle, what would be the kind of key takeaways in terms of like training to what area or what part of your cycle you're in, just to educate around that?
Yeah, I guess the first thing is just to understand the key female sex hormones, which are estrogen and progesterone, and those are the two hormones that are constantly fluctuating throughout your cycle, and those two hormones almost have opposite effects to the body when it comes to physiology. And so estrogen can be really beneficial to some women, and they can really like benefit off that rise in estrogen throughout the follicular phase, which is the first half of the cycle. We do see quite a few women feel really good, particularly after their period as they go into ovulation, and that's where that surge of estrogen comes. Whereas in the luteal phase, it's really progesterone, which is evident there, and that sometimes can have the opposite effects to estrogen. So it's more of like a catabolic hormone, so it doesn't have that kind of recovery enhancement that estrogen can have. And where we see a lot of women suffering from like PMS, which is at the back end, usually at the back end of the luteal phase, for a say 28-day cycle around like days 25, we do see a lot of women who might feel more fatigued, might feel more moody, might not be able to recover as well. And that can come from that big drop-off of progesterone, which then leads you back into your next cycle. So I think the key thing for most women is to like actually start tracking your cycle. Like so many women still don't even do that. So just start tracking your cycle, which you can do in Femmi, and then understand your own experience in your cycle, and then start to lean into those changes across your cycles. And we know not everybody is the same. Not every woman has the same experience. And at Femmi right now, what we're aiming to build is a system which will be more of like a, let's say, an AI, large language model system, which will actually take everybody's data into account and their own experience, and then actually produce training that's like next level in personalization to her, which doesn't exist anywhere. So it's pretty exciting to think where we are going to be in a few years' time.
Yeah.
There's one girl who I won't mention who's a dear friend, and she's had a history of eating disorders and things like that, recently come off a stress fracture. And there's so many people at the moment, even guys, who are having stress fractures. But I think, like you mentioned, like the REDs and there's a whole bunch of variations and combinations of why it does lead down that path. What advice would you give to someone who is kind of off the back of that, like they're through it, but kind of regaining their confidence and regaining the structure around training and trying to prevent injury again?
I think the first thing I'll say on REDs for women is we're so lucky if you do have a menstrual cycle. We're so lucky to have that as an indicator, because men don't have that. If we start to see these kind of changes in our cycles where you're going from a 28-day cycle to then maybe a 40-day cycle to then maybe your period not even coming, that is a sign that there's something wrong, and you could jump in and make changes before it gets to the severity of, say, like a bone stress injury, whereas men don't have that sign. So, and actually in some ways we're so, many ways, but in that way we're very lucky to have a period, because we have that as a vital sign of our health. I think for people who have gone through REDs and potentially had stress fractures and are coming back into the sport, the key thing is just to be patient. Like, you just have to have a really long-term look at like your training and how you're coming back into it, and how you are wanting to set goals, because I think particularly now with running completely booming, we're all just so like hyper excited about like getting into the next race and doing the next thing and like doing it with our friends, and they're all, you know, traveling to this race, and I want to be part of that.
Yeah,
but,
starting a podcast.
you know, like you just like really have to be patient and take the right approach. And yes, it's going to be slow and monotonous, but it will pay off in the long term if you do it right. And there's just no point rushing back into things, because you're most likely going to get back into the same position you were in before. Yeah. And that cycle over and over is just going to like absolutely kill your joy in running. So just try to be patient, look at long term, and just take a slow, sustainable approach to it. Yeah.
I think that about the sustainable point is so massive, especially like you said, so many people getting into running, so who are like just want to jump in and do so much stuff all at once, and that, you know, like you said, they might be following a plan that's maybe built for someone who's got a bit of a base and has run before, and these people might just be having never done it before. It's so easy to jump in, and then within 2 months they're like this, picking up injuries, they're not sustainable, it's just gone too quick, and then they're like, I don't want to run ever again, and you kind of lose that. I think having a system where it's able for people to jump in and slowly build and understand and have that finding out about yourself phase, I feel like that's a massive part of running, is like you just got to understand how you feel on a 5k on different days, like, you know, at different times of the month. And then
I think
how
that
you do
the
it.
big thing is comparison, and
Exactly.
I think in our sport there's so much of that going on, because not only are you part of these communities where you're showing up every week and comparing yourself to who's there, you're also comparing your literal data to everyone else's data every single day.
It's so comparable, right? Like,
and there's no
same distance.
context, you know. It's like, oh, that person ran that and ran, you know, his heart rate was that, and and it's like so consuming, and you spend more time focusing on what everyone else is doing than what it's actually right for you. So at Femmi we try to lean away from that. We don't encourage women to be sharing their data all the time. Like, yes, celebrate your run every now and then, you can share directly from the Femmi app and get the other queens running, but like, we aren't encouraging you to be on Strava every day, and I'm not on Strava. Like, I don't use it because of that reason. I don't want to be looking at other people's data, but I also don't want women to be looking at my data and being like, well, she's doing that, and
Therefore,
you know, like,
I can.
It's such an easy trap to fall into as well.
And I've seen it, you know, like I remember back in 2019, women that I was running with were looking at my data, and then I'd see them doing sessions, and I'm like, they should not be doing that session.
For sure. I feel like it happens with us as well.
Totally.
Like we, obviously, like we'll do unofficial, and we'll do like speed session stuff, and people will be like, "Oh, how are you doing this?" Or like, you know, it looks so easy doing this, and they're trying to like overextend. And it's like, we haven't got the same base. Like, we got different. We're different. We're, like, don't try and compare, because it's just not. We're not the same. Like,
and I think if I was just an athlete, I probably wouldn't care as much. But because I'm a coach,
of course,
and I
you got
feel
a lot
so
of eyes
responsible.
on, right?
I'm like, I don't really want to be encouraging that behavior. And your running journey should be personal to you. Like, it's so special. And I definitely fell into traps of like letting external factors interrupt my relationship with running, and now I'm just like, no, I'm so protective of it.
And I think you have to kind of, it sounds bad, but you have to kind of go through those failures and that kind of like distaste from running to realize like you're on your own journey, like you said, and it's like that's the joy of it. Just learning from those past mistakes, whether it be, you know, comparing yourself to others or not fueling, like those are all mistakes that you make in a race, in a 6 month time period, whatever it may be, but like you do always learn and take away from those.
And like, I'm still learning, you know, I've been running for 30 years and I'm still learning. I still make mistakes, even when it comes to fueling. Like, not knowing that you're not eating enough is something that happens to all of us. It's not a conscious thing that you're doing, trying to restrict diets anymore. For me, it's not. It used to be. But now I'm always like, I have to be so conscious of how much I'm eating to make sure I'm getting enough. And I do make mistakes too.
Nice. Sure. I saw a great quote on your Instagram. You said your best friend and I were taught basically to train like the men and ignore our unique needs as women. I feel like didn't get taught much growing up, like in high school. How young should girls be getting on this app? If, you know, anyone's listening, to educate around this, because I think obviously as men we can for sure as well. But obviously people are running from quite a young age.
I mean, my niece is 9, and I got my period when I was 12, and I believe the average age of girls getting their periods now is 9. Like, it's come down quite a lot, and there's a lot of opinions on why. But I think as young as possible, like, I am starting to, like, introduce the menstrual cycle and talk to her about it in a way that it's like a celebration of, like, look, you're going to get these surges of estrogen and you're going to be so powerful, and you're going to be like, that's going to help you be such a better athlete, and try and, like, bring the conversation in a really, like, lighthearted, scientific way, not in the way of what we learnt about was like no one even could really even say period. Like, I remember passing tampons under the table because it was so embarrassing at school, you know, like. So I think bringing, like, Femmi definitely could be used for younger girls as well. Like, our programs, we do have a run walk program called Learn to Love Running, which may be appropriate for teenage girls, but we don't have anything necessarily built in for young girls going through puberty. But, like, those conversations should be happening as young as, like, 9, you know. Yeah.
But even if girls aren't running, if they're playing sport, which obviously a lot of girls do,
definitely.
You wake up on match day and you have your period. I imagine that changes a lot for you. And, like I couldn't imagine having to deal with that. Even if it's race week, let alone
imagine going into a marathon, you're running for 3 hours and you've got, like, a heavy period. Like, that is the reality for women. It's crazy that this doesn't even get spoken about or acknowledged, you know. And I'm like,
I've got
women are cool.
I've got a 3-year-old girl, and my wife has, like, been kind of having those conversations already, because, like, we've got a trampoline in the backyard, and Frankie will be like, "Mum, jump on the trampoline," and she's like, I actually can't, because I have my period and I feel like crap. My stomach is sore, And so that it's now, like, Frankie will be like, "Hey, can you jump on the trampoline? Or do you have your period?"
Yeah,
like,
cute.
I love that so much.
Honestly, I think it's great. I think our generation is definitely way more open to it. Gen Z is, like, completely open to it because they're all on TikTok. But, you know, I think about the generation above us, and, like, I know even my mum, like, struggled to have the conversation with me, you know, but just bringing it into, like, a normal conversation where it's not, like, awkward is just the best
reality,
thing. It's just, like, what it is.
And I think a lot of female, like, elite female athletes are talking about it, and they're talking about the technology and the progression around having your period on race day. Like, there's so many designs now. It's like they've got the briefs with, like, the lining in it and just things like that. That, like you said, 20 years ago would never have existed.
Oh my gosh,
never
it's so much easier. And that's what I think about for my niece. I'm like, you are so lucky. The menstrual discs are a game changer. Like, it's so much easier now. So
I remember seeing, like, you know, obviously you might have, like, one big marathon day or something like that, but I remember reading about the Women's World Cup, and obviously that's, like, 3 to 4 weeks. Like, everyone's going to have, like, if you're in that for the whole tournament, everyone's going to have a period through that, probably where it's, you know, going through and balancing that. That's a huge part of managing elite performance. And it's like, like you said, that was probably a new thing that people were talking about, and having that be a conversation that, as more people talk about, it's like, oh, okay, add some insight and a bit of understanding of why certain things are going. Like, maybe someone's gonna have a bad day or whatever. Like, it's something that's got to be managed through a longer period of time. And I imagine there's probably something that it's like an edge to gain, I guess, for an elite sport, of how do you manage that better as, like, a team, or if it's an individual, how do you do it to, like you said, channel that extra bit of energy or time. You know, how you manage that is a huge part.
100%. And it's just incredibly exciting for women's sport as a whole. You know, the education that is now happening, the research. Only 6% of sports science research studies have been conducted exclusively on women. So, you know, we've grown up in this world where pretty much everything that we've learnt in the sport and exercise industry has been based on the male physiology, completely ignoring the hormones. But now there is so much more happening, so much more education, and when it comes to training, this personalised approach to athletes, even if they are in a team sport, is changing the game. Like, we're seeing records breaking all the time, and I'm just so excited to see where women athletes are going to be in another 5 or 10 years with, like, the level of not only support from, like, a training perspective, but, you know, like, equal prize money, equal opportunity. Like, it's just so exciting for where women's sport is going to go, because it's just so needed. And I think over the last 4 years, women's sport growth has grown by, like, 4.5 times faster than male sport. And it's, like, one of the most, I don't know, it's the best place to put your money if you're a brand or a sponsor, because it's just going to go up. It's not going anywhere else. So it's pretty exciting.
Love it.
That's awesome. One of you had a question, I think, about that.
I did, So, like, obviously you do a lot of work with Nike. You're employed by Nike?
I'm contracted.
Contracted by Nike.
Yeah.
And so like seeing the shift of massive companies into the like female space, there's obviously like in the past it might not have felt genuine or like there was a genuine care, but I know like I've got a mate of mine who works for Pace, and it was in the room when Nike did those like women's running events and like the after dark, and then also the apparel side of it, like actually consulting women on how they want to be dressed and how they want to be fitted for sports bras, etc. Like it seems like there's a real genuine shift and it's making a massive impact. So like on that, with working with Nike, like how's it felt being a part of that change?
Oh my gosh, like honestly, it's been so incredible to be with the brand. I've been with Nike now for 16 years, and I think ever since I signed with Nike, they've had a huge focus on women. And I mean, to see them work with us, like when we started Femmi, they backed us before Femmi even really existed, you know, because they knew that women needed something like what Femmi has built, and they're just wanting to encourage more and more women to stay in sport as well, and encourage more women to participate as well. And product and tools is a big part of that, you know, like I think there's this kind of historical saying of pink it and shrink it when it comes to like women products, but like from a Nike perspective, yes, all the product has been designed specifically for her, and it's built for her needs and what she desires when it comes to training. When we talk about the After Dark series, so when I first started in Nike back in 2009, I think it was, they started a women's race series back then, and I think it was called She Runs, and we had an event here called She Runs the Night. It was like amazing. And then they removed the race for a few years and then brought it back as After Dark, and it's just like bigger and better than ever it was before. Thousands and thousands of women. I don't know the specific numbers across the After Dark series this year, but I want to say like
Looked massive.
probably close to 100,000 women around the world.
It was so
incredible.
much
How many
fun.
ran in Sydney?
There was
Looks like as well.
7,000 in Sydney,
Wow.
18,000 in LA, I think another 10,000 in Mexico. Those were the 3 I went to, so I'm not 100% sure on the other 3. And then there's London to come in November. But, you know, their intention there is to encourage more women to participate. Yes, we celebrate the winners, and yes, we celebrate the champions, but Nike is also backing all athletes. They say if you have a body, you're an athlete, and they wanted to get more women in
I think the best part about it was seeing all, like, I had friends whose partners had never run and were like, I'm going to train for this After Dark thing.
Yeah.
And then they cross the finish line, they're in tears. They've gone, I've never done something like this before, and feel like I'm backed to do it, not only by her partner or, but by these like big brands who are like putting this stuff together.
Yeah,
So
the participation is, you know, like women's sport is a flywheel, and we need more media coverage, we need more brands and more sponsors to get behind us, and if we can do that, then more fans are going to come to the games and come to the sport and watch the sport. Then more people are going to feel inspired to take part in the sport, and then they're also going to go back and participate. So if we can get this like flywheel tuning, which it's happening, sometimes slower than others, but like it's happening, and the more that investment we can put behind women athletes and into women's sport, the more people are going to participate, and it's just going to keep going. So it's pretty exciting to think about like, where the sport is going, but we all have to have a part to play in it. Like we all have to go to the games, we all have to like support women athletes, we all have to back equal prize money. Like it's so important to do all of that, because without that it is probably going to go slower than it should. But women athletes are just as inspiring and as incredible as male athletes, you know. There is a physiological difference, yes, but like in some ways they're more inspiring because we have, like the period, we have more things to battle with when we have to show up on race day.
Love it. Lots we could go into. I think to keep it moving, because we've got about 12, 15 minutes, I would love to know if you want to share anything about Sydney Marathon, that experience. Me and Cam going by you. I know I was in the hurt locker
Had
for
I
about
stopped at that point?
5 or 6.
No, you were still going.
You were still going.
I think it was
that
about
was pretty
26
soon
or
after
something
that.
like that.
Yeah. But I saw that you mentioned on your Instagram story this past week your first sort of speed session back. Since then, I'm yet to do any form of speed work. I think I've gone on about 7 runs.
Nice.
So fair play to you. Put it down to the app, probably.
Well, you know, it's been 4 weeks now. I usually take a good 3 weeks to recover after the marathon. But I think this one really hit me. I was pretty fatigued after the race. So I had a really good build. Like I which probably was a sign that maybe the race wasn't going to go so well. But like the training went perfectly. Like everything went so
Something
well.
has to go
Yeah,
wrong.
something's going to go wrong.
Peak in training.
And I felt really strong in my sessions. So I was pretty confident that going in at like 2:40 to 2:45 pace for me was going to be somewhat achievable. And a few days leading into the race, I picked up this like hip niggle, which I was like, this is just my mind playing games, and just ignore it, you're fine. And then we did have quite a busy few days leading into the race. We had like a lot of Femmi and Nike stuff going on. And anyway, I got to race day and I was like, you're going to be fine. Just like lock into the pace and you can get this done. And yeah, at like first 10Ks felt really good. Obviously there's a lot of downhill and it like smashed my legs without really knowing it. And then by about 15, I was like, okay, I'm gonna have to work today to get this. And then by 21, I think I went through 21 in like 81 or 82 or something. And I was like, okay, this is pretty painful. By 25, I was struggling, and I had a guy come up to me, I think he was from Pace actually, with a camera, and he, like, intentions were completely right there. And he was filming me, asking me like, oh, like, what are you running for? And I lost my dad about 6 months ago, and like all I could think about was dad. And at that point I was like in the absolute hurt locker, and I was like, oh, like I'm running for my dad. And then I don't know if you guys ever tried to like cry while you're running, but it's not
it's
good
so
time.
hard.
It's pretty hard. Yeah.
Well, you're on pace at this point, and he's come up and obviously had good intentions.
He had good intentions, and it wasn't his
No,
fault
of
at all,
course.
but it was the moment where everything kind of hit
just
me.
the wrong time.
Yeah. Fair play to you for answering.
I would have been
I barely got a word out.
I think he shared the video and I was like, I can't even watch it. And yeah, by 28, I saw my friend and I was like, I'm just going to stop. Like, what is the point today? I'm not here. And I think after the last 6 months I've had trying to just like, I don't know, come to terms with the fact that I lost dad and all of this, I was like, I just don't care enough. And I think that for me is a big sign that I needed a break. Like, I think when you invest so much of yourself into something and then you do all the work, you subconsciously, I believe, have an expectation that you're going to get the result that you think that you deserve. But the thing is, running doesn't owe anyone anything, and you know, you shouldn't expect those things. You can be hopeful that you're going to get those things, but the expectation is just like unrealistic. And so I think I just like realized that I didn't care enough to keep pushing, and I also just, I don't know, wanted to be able to enjoy the day, and I didn't think I could. So I stopped for about half an hour, waited for my friends, double backed, ran part of the course again with them.
How many
and
Ks
then
did you end up doing? on marathon
so
day?
I got to 45 Ks and I was in centipede still.
Oh, no.
And my legs were shot.
Just an ultra marathon
And
finish.
Oh my goodness.
my friend had a Zupa Duper, those ice
Oh,
ones.
love it.
I stopped and got the Zupa Duper off her, and I was like, I'm so dead. And I thought at that point maybe I could still get to the finish line, because I was like, even if I had, run 3.5 hours or whatever, it's fine. And then I was like, no, I can't even do that. My legs are so dead. So I walked back to the city in my Alpha Flies with my number on.
Oh, squeaking all the way down.
That's the ultimate walk of shame.
The ultimate walk of shame, but kind of funny. But I also didn't have my phone. So I'm like walking along in my own head, battling with these thoughts of like, haha, that's kind of funny that I didn't finish, to being like, oh my God, I can't believe I didn't finish. Having that narrative. But I'm kind of glad I had to do that, because rather than go home and spend days like, thinking about it, I got it all done in that half an hour or
digest
whatever
it
it was.
Because we were running and we had started to hit some,
We were dropping.
we started to hit some barriers at this point, and then it was like we saw, like, obviously we hadn't met, but Rien was like, oh, I think that's Lydia, like came up and like I think we like said hey or something like that, and you were like almost like, do you want to run with us? And we sort of just went past. I was like, she's fighting her own battle.
I mean,
We're fighting our own battle. Like,
everyone's in their own race,
everyone's got their
right?
own like thing they're going on. It's
Yeah.
just like you want to be like, yep, come with us, but it's just like.
Well, the thing was, like, we met at this Apple event late July, and we'd chatted about wanting to run around the
that's
240,
right.
sub 240 mark. And then I picked up a niggle. You got a stressy. We were going to run together.
Yeah.
And so we didn't end up doing any of our training together, as we'd sort of chatted about. And then I saw you and I was like, oh, we'll get to run the finish together. But I was dying, and you'd obviously just explained what was going on with you. And the beauty of the marathon. Like you
The
said,
beauty of the
running does not owe
marathon
you
teaches you everything.
anything. Well,
Yeah.
on that note, Sydney Marathon ballot is open. It went live last week.
Yeah.
2 weeks from today, the ballot closes. We all going to be running it next year? What are you thinking? You doing Sydney again next year?
Look, I DNF'd at the Gold Coast in 2019 and I've never been back. So,
Okay. Is that you're done?
I like it. One
Bye-bye,
and done.
Sydney.
I don't know. I really like to find a personal connection to the races that I do and the places that I go to race. And yeah, I have this like trauma about Gold Coast now, and I'm like, I will obviously be here to support everybody at Sydney, but I can't imagine doing that race again.
Yeah, okay.
Who knows? We'll
Maybe
see.
if we get a training run in, we can do it as a squad. I don't know. Like,
I said at the start of this year I was not running a marathon this year, and
Yeah,
then
right.
someone offered me the Sydney ticket, and I was like, oh well, okay, I'll try. So you never know. Never say never.
Yeah, there you go.
well, the Nike Melbourne Marathon is this weekend. You're
is.
going to be down for that, right?
I'll be down in Melbourne for the Nike Melbourne Marathon. I am stoked. Like, it is one of my favourite events of the year. I've been there every year since maybe 2019. It was actually my first marathon in 2015.
Wow.
I love the event. It's epic, and I'm stoked. Like, to be at the finish line at the MCG is just like such an incredible
Phenomenal
place
spot.
to be.
Great
Yeah.
city, iconic venue.
Yeah, it's pretty
Cam
exciting.
Merrick, he's
How you
running. Didn't get on the elite lineup. On
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
Instagram job.
Shafted.
20 seconds
Yeah,
off.
didn't
Oh,
make the
no.
cut. Didn't make the. Well, I'm in the elite field. I just didn't make the graphic. Which is just tough, you know.
Ruthless. Just go
Tough.
scribble your name in there.
Yeah. Well, I just maybe gave me some names I need to chase down and know who I need to beat.
Yeah,
No,
you're
but-
operating in the shadows still.
Exactly.
Don't
They're
tag
gonna-
him in the comments, guys.
It's gonna be like, who is this guy? I don't know it. But no.
What's
Look.
the goal?
The goal is sub 220.
Epic.
It's been the goal for a while. Came off Gold Coast, did a 223. Went pretty much straight into this build. Obviously ran Sydney with Rien. Picked up a couple of niggles off the back of that, and just been, it's been like just trying to scratch and claw my way to get to race day. I sort of had to take some time off after Sydney. I'd been carrying some stuff into that. Was probably compensating. Had a bit of a flare up. Took like a week of lower volume, and then got back, was feeling pretty good. Again, as you pick back up, whatever. Anyway, did a session on the weekend and just, again, had like a kind of hip flare up and was just like in my own head massively. So, like 2 weeks out, I'm like, how's this going to go? Got a bit more eyes on it this time, so there's a bit more pressure, and I'm like, I've got all this stuff to sort of deliver to beyond just myself as well, which is like, all that's fine, but I care more about like my own intents and my own expectations of myself. But had the session on Sunday, not necessarily go to plan, pulled the pin like 3/4 of the way through, just 'cause I could feel a bit of awareness, and I was like, it's just not worth it. I think I'm really fit, but I'd rather just get there in one piece than force it. So I took Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday off running, just did like bike, sauna, other non-impact stuff, got a massive massage, ended up running last night, felt pretty good, ran this morning, felt all right. So if I get through this weekend, we can cruise downhill, get to the race day in one piece and give it a rip and see how we go.
Yeah.
So
Well, you're not going to get any fitter. So
exactly
it's
right.
not
So it's
gonna
kind
happen.
of just talking with my coach. It's kind of just about getting some stimulus in over the next week or so, and then just keeping the legs ticking over and just prioritizing recovery.
Cool.
And yeah,
Have you run Melbourne before?
I've not.
Yeah.
It's I only ran my first marathon last year, so this is
Marathon number 4?
my first one was in November last year, and then this will be 4. I ran Noosa
Gold Coast, Sydney.
Gold Coast, Sydney,
Queenstown.
4th in like 4.5 months or
doing
something
number
like that.
five.
It's probably too
This is
much.
hard.
But
Yeah.
2 of those were pacing. 2 of them were 2 of them will be racing. But I'm very much looking forward to some rest post. But I am really excited to give it a crack. Like, gonna have some friends on course. Obviously, Rien is gonna be on course. My
Obviously.
parents. He's
Not obvious, but I will be on
yes,
course.
yeah, obvious to anyone in the know. He will be there. My parents live in Melbourne, so they're going to be on course, which is going to be. They've never really seen me run since I've sort of got into it, which is
Since
pretty
you're
funny.
a wee boy.
Just
Yeah.
get them all to by the tan. I think that's the
Yeah.
most important place
Okay.
to have support. It's
Okay.
the hardest part of the race where you've got to do that 1
Noted.
or 2K climb up the tan. It's
So
Okay.
it's pretty rough, about
30-ish?
36.
It's like 36, 38. Yeah.
It's
Okay.
it's hard. That's where you definitely want to be locking in with
Okay.
your mantras because it's a struggle. But once you get to the top of the hill, then you're pretty much like downhill back into the city.
Okay.
So
Good to know.
save something in the tank for that.
Always have a kick.
Yeah, always got a
Cam's,
kick.
Cam's,
Cam's
I love a
always
kick.
have a
yeah.
kick.
I've said it before, but coming in to the MCG is just the best moment, and like that's the only time I've actually cried in a race.
No,
Everyone was
so
like, you won't, like, you will absolutely cry. I was like, come on. Literally entered. I was like, doing the half with Tilly, like
Yeah.
not even the full.
Yeah.
2 weeks
So-
after the granny as well.
I know.
Prepare for
There you go.
tears.
That's crazy. Yeah, when I ran it in 2015, I was 25. I was so like such a noob to marathon running. I didn't know what I was doing. I didn't know what I was doing in the training. I turned up on race day, had like no idea what to expect, what it was going to feel like, anything like that. And I don't know how I got into the elite list, but I remember sitting in the room before the race with all the other elites just being like shitting myself, like so
That's
scared.
good,
And anyway, I went out. It's a hard course in the way that it's set up because it's so flat at the start, so you can get carried away. But I think because I didn't have any expectation on pace, I was just like, just go out and run, and you want to get to like 25, 30 feeling relatively good. And then I got to the tan hill, and I got to the bottom of the hill in fourth, and by the time I got to the top, I was in second. And I ran back down into the MCG. You know, I lived in New Zealand. I hadn't been to Melbourne before, I don't think, and I was just like, what is this?
What have I just
This is
done?
Yeah.
crazy,
Yeah.
you know? And I got to the finish line, and I think I just didn't realize like what I had achieved. And now 10 years on, I look back and I'm like, whoa, that's wild that I
Go me.
did that. But running into the MCG was just like so special because it's just like,
it's euphoric.
it's crazy.
Yeah.
You definitely feel like a athlete, you know, being
Yeah.
in that
Yeah.
ground.
Yeah, I'm hoping, like, I'm quietly hoping that, like, I'm in a battle with someone, or there's someone to try and kick
Yeah.
on or something like that, because I just
Yeah.
would love the idea of like kicking.
The white
Rather-
mat is slippery. I'll just tell you
Yeah,
that.
rather than just be like I'm just solo and just like grinding the last
Yeah.
bit. I'd love to
Even
be
the
with
last couple
someone.
of Ks when you're like running towards the MCG is really
Yeah.
like
The streets are lined.
streets are-
like
yeah.
you're in the thick
You'll
of
get
it.
Yeah.
World
carried by
champ,
the
that
crowd.
world champ male finish with the photo finish.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Over you.
we expect nothing less.
Exactly. Yeah, just anything on the line.
Yeah.
But no, I'm excited for it. Yeah, like I'm keen to obviously going through Melbourne, Sydney, and like that kind of being a very external, you know, just pacing Rien, which was great, and I had a ball doing it. But yeah, I'm kind of keen to just, especially having it not been as perfect of a build as like Gold Coast has been. It's been very like, I know it's going to get like very hard, and like I might block, like the hip might just go, and like I got to make a call. But I'm kind of keen just to see how far into the pain cave we go and what it's like, and just
You know you're going to get there. Just when does it come?
Yeah.
Does it come in
Set up
K26?
camp, pour
Does it come in
yourself a glass of tea.
K36?
I mean,
Yeah.
yeah, I
Cup
mean,
of tea and a biggie.
Yeah, from
Gold,
experience, you don't want the build to go well.
yeah,
Yeah,
okay.
exactly.
Yeah, perfect. So Gold Coast was just like,
215.
like,
Inverted.
I'll put my money down.
but no, it was yeah, I remember Gold Coast at 36, 37, and it got like I had like stomach cramp. I slowed down to like fours. I was running at 320s before. I was like slowed to a 4 and was like I literally like, went through my head of like, this could be it done. Stomach cramp, like I'm just gonna be hobbling for the rest of the race. Cleared, and then it was like 5K to go, and I remember like, yeah, you were on the bike. I came around that bit,
Barking.
and I'm just there. I was like non-verbal. I remember like being in that spot of like, I'm just in the like absolute cave, like, and I do remember saying your mantras of being like, I was ready for this moment. Like I had, thought the night before about what's it gonna feel like when you're in the in the cave? How are you gonna do it?
Sauna.
Yeah, literally. Yeah, the pain cave practice is like called in the sauna. But no, it was. Yeah, I'm fully prepared for it to just get insanely tough. But I kind of hope I'm in the mix with whether it's, I don't know what the field. I mean, we probably don't have time to go through the field, but there's a lot of people in that 218 to 222 range. I'm obviously hoping to be sub 220. How it goes in the day, we don't know.
Yeah.
But I'm just going to try and hang with
Yuki
some people.
Kawauchi, Boston vibes. You never know. Could
Yeah.
be pouring rain.
Exactly.
You might be
know,
built for it.
You
true.
never
You never
know.
know. Melbourne's that thing. We don't have time, unfortunately, to go fully into it. But next week, we will be doing a show before the Melbourne Marathon, so tune in for that. I think we'll park that. Chicago as well, which will be a very quick marathon, potentially a few records being broken.
Hope
So
so.
their US record could get broken by Conor Mance.
I think so.
There's some cool stuff happening there. I'll have to get an update. Ella, you're not running Melbourne.
No, not running Melbourne,
'Kay.
unfortunately. Made the call on Monday or Tuesday. Just, hadn't trained the past couple of weeks in the way that I wanted to. Struggling to get past like 12K, so just wasn't
I'm
on the
proud of
card.
you for making that call.
Yeah,
Growth, hey?
crazy. I'll be doing a half marathon
Still
the
doing sessions.
following week.
Are
you on the
coming to Melbourne?
Nah, not going to be coming to Melbourne, unfortunately. Although I might surprise you. You
Damn.
never know.
Drives down.
Yeah.
Bring my bike if
Gets
you
in
do.
the beat up golf on
Yeah.
my way.
Yeah.
Love it. Well, we will go now to a bit of a segment that we like to call Buy Sell, Lydia. So if you don't know what this is, quick explainer. Each week we bring something to the room that we are buying, that we like, that we want to see more of, or that we're selling that we don't like, that we want to bin off. So I can leave you to the end if you need some thinking time. And if that explainer didn't explain it well enough, you'll get 4 examples. So
Perfect.
I've got one.
Go on then.
Go on.
Lead
I'm
us
going to
off.
go buying conversations around women's sport. This has been
Okay.
really good. There's more that we could unpack that's happened this week, but really great having you in. I've learnt a lot. I definitely think there's a lot more to learn than outside of a 1 hour conversation. But yeah, I reckon I'll get Betty on the app at some point. She's often asked me to write her a running program, and I'm not a coach, so I've never done that for her. But I think maybe the app would be a great place to start. So yeah, more conversations around this rather than short Instagram comments would be
Yeah.
my buy of the
Smart.
week.
Got anything for us?
I haven't got anything just yet.
All right,
so
I'm gonna buy, and this isn't personally, but obviously started putting some content out in the build up to Melbourne. I'm just
like and subscribe.
yeah, like no, it's just I
Plugging yourself is big for
Yeah.
the buy.
I'm not buying.
I like it, I love
I'm not
it.
buying. I'm not buying my own. No,
Buy Cameron Merrick, everyone.
no. I'm buying just the amount of effort that goes into creating that. I think it's easy to see a 45-second or a minute piece of content and be like, cool, and you just kind of consume it and move on. But twofold, the amount of effort that goes into that, obviously Rien, but Ethan, Jackson, a couple other guys who'd got around that. And then also just like the support. Like I've had heaps of people just like, even this morning at Run Club being like, oh, that was great. Like I love that. Like when's more coming out? And just the more you put out, I think even we've felt that with this podcast, just random people or people in our lives that maybe, like I had a guy this week who I worked with like 5 years ago, Instagram messaged me being like, hey mate, like I was training into Sydney and I was like just in the zone, like just consuming everything, you know, Instagram's telling me, you know, here's the things I need to do for a marathon, here's what I need to train. And then before I know it, I've got you in my ears. And I'm like, and he's like, I didn't even think about it. And then anyway, like just putting stuff out there and having the sort of, obviously there's going to be, you might get some negative stuff, but overwhelmingly, I think people want to get around good stuff and try and bounce off and have that positive community. And I think that has just been, awesome. So twofold, the amount of effort that goes into creating something quality and then the reciprocation of support that you get from that has been awesome.
Love that. Very
Okay.
nice. Wholesome.
Well, I have 2 because I'm an overachiever. I have
Okay.
a buy and a
true.
sell.
Okay, buy and a sell. Okay.
I'm buying Olivia Dean's new album.
Oh,
Let me just say it
come
now.
on.
Okay.
That'll preach.
Get around it. If
Yeah.
you've got a
It's good.
40-minute, 50-minute easy run, just
I
whack
did
it
notice
on.
I
your-
think it's like 38 minutes.
I
It's
was
a
going to say,
short
your
album.
Strava's last photo of everyone was a screenshot of one of those songs. So,
Phenomenal.
fair play.
And I'm selling all of your niggles away for
Okay.
Melbourne Marathon.
Thank you. Thank
It's a
you.
nice sell.
Yep.
Get rid of them. Yeah.
Yeah.
Look, the any hexes, if anyone's got any, you
I have a
know,
spell.
yeah, anything to get rid of them. Yeah, we're done. But I think we're
Yeah, I'm selling them and you'll be fine.
touch wood. We're getting there in one piece. Get rid of them.
Yeah.
Love it.
I'm buying Northbridge Baths.
Okay.
If you know, you know.
Okay.
I don't know.
Northbridge Baths is the perfect afternoon dip.
Watch
Okay.
out for stingrays. Just saying.
Wow.
Just go in the deep. Just go in the deep end. Don't walk in.
That's your buy.
Just dive in and
Hope there aren't stingrays.
hope
I
there aren't
guess.
stingrays.
So
You'll
get
be right.
Get around Northbridge
Yeah,
Bars.
Steve Owen's last
Yeah.
words.
Okay, love it.
Jeez, too soon.
Well,
As soon
it's
as
been a
I
while,
said
to
it,
be
I
fair.
was like, I regret it immediately.
his son's like a fully grown man now, but
Yeah.
he's a legend.
On Dancing with the
vote,
Stars.
Yeah, vote Robert Owen on
true.
Dancing
Yeah.
with the Stars.
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Love it.
Lydia, buy, sell,
Anything you
anything come
see
to
that you
mind?
liked or didn't like?
Yeah.
Buy, I think I'll go with buying more collaboration. I think this has been fun, and it's just cool to see more people coming together to like make change. We've got a pretty exciting project launching at Melbourne Marathon next week with our Femmi community, and it's essentially, I don't know when this is dropping, but
It should be out later
you'll
today,
be
5 p.m.
exclusive
Yeah.
drop here.
Yeah.
We're launching a pretty special newspaper that has been brought to life by our community, and it's really about storytelling our community members, but also like educating people on female physiology and community.
Amazing.
So
Awesome.
that has been like a massive project that so many women have input into, and it's just been cool to like collaborate on something that isn't just about like me and Esther or just Femmi.
Yeah.
But even like this sort of stuff is so cool, and like doing events together and just getting more people running. It's just it's good for the world. So buy that, sell.
Or you don't have to
You
sell
don't have
something
to
if you
sell?
want. It's
Yeah.
one or the
Okay.
other.
If you see anything you
But,
didn't like, but
Ella buys and sells, but we let her get away with it.
Normally it's one or the other, but she can do both.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. If there's any sell, don't let us hold
I'll
you down.
sell over training. Let's just say
Yeah,
go on.
rest
Great.
and buy rest and recovery.
Yeah.
Love that. Well, thank you so much for joining us. This has been fun. Where can people find you? I'll put links and everything, show notes, all of that good podcast
Just
etiquette.
the usual Instagram, really.
Nice.
We are very sporadic on TikTok, so I wouldn't really send people there. But you can find us on Instagram, or you can find us at our run communities
Sweet.
all around the world.
And that one in Melbourne, the hard copy of that magazine, you said,
We'll
is
be
that available?
in Melbourne, so we have
Yep.
a shakeout run on Friday the 10th of October,
Yep.
and that is for everybody, not just women.
Yep.
And that's just going to bring people together. We've got a very, very, very special guest that I cannot name yet, but I
Okay.
would highly
Get down.
recommend coming along.
Get
if you
down.
wanna
We'll be
We'll
in
be there.
town. We'll be recording a pod Friday morning,
Last time
actually.
she
Maybe
said
we'll
it
come
was
up then.
Georgia
What time is it
Smith,
on?
so
It's at 6:30
At night.
in the morning.
In
Oh, in the morning.
Ooh.
Okay.
Where,
maybe.
yeah, we could be there. We're
Highly
recording-
recommend coming to see our
Okay.
very
Yeah,
special
okay.
guest.
Where is it at?
It's going to be at the Nike Hub at the MCG.
Okay.
We'll be nearby.
Okay,
Food,
lock it in.
coffee,
Like it.
all the good things.
Cam's locking it in.
I'll be there.
Nice.
Yeah, so we'll be there with our newspaper as well.
Awesome.
Be there. Thank you all for joining us.
Hey,
this
thank
has
you,
been fun. Good to be back in the room.
It is way good to be back in the room.
Best month of the
Way
year,
good.
October.
Great.
Yeah.
Way
Best
better.
month of the year. The weather changes. You got the grand final.
Daylight
I'm not
savings,
going to
pretty
riff
good.
on all my nostalgia of childhood. Anyway, that has been Never Run Alone. Come one, come all,
Come running.
come running.
Come
Do it. Well
running.
Thank
done.
you.
Thank you.